All right, what is up, everybody? It's the eve of our first Chiefs home game. It's KC3 takes on a Saturday night. I'm John here with Jackson and Josh. How's it going, guys?
It's going good, John.
It's going damn good.
So, we're actually not going to start with the Chiefs. I think we're going to go in the direction of the big news of yesterday, which Antonio Brown, NFL career might be in jeopardy as he was released by the Patriots following just another news slate in general where I guess he threatened his accusers' families. So the Patriots said, yeah, you're gone. Just quick, what's your take on it, Jackson?
Well, I think he had it coming to him, and I think he's mentally ill. That's what I have to honestly think. And I know that that's a little controversial to say, but nobody acts the way he does unless they're just downright stupid or there's no real explanation for it other than that you have to be just kind of an idiot to act the way he was. And, people aren't going to deal with that for as long. New England's not going to deal with it at all.
The thing to me was it just happened so quick.
Well, the thing is, the Patriots have a no bullshit policy. Yes, they aren't going to let you fucking just sit around there and cause more distractions. And I think part of the reason they got rid of him is because Bill Belichick was asked so many damn questions about him. He just got tired of it.
And he walked straight off the stand, too. It was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, he just, at one point, it just becomes, all right, man, like, we don't really need this guy. The other guys that have been problematic that have gone to New England have kind of straightened up. Antonio, however, once he got to New England, just more and more stuff opened up.
The thing is, New England's won without him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. People are acting like it's going to devastate New England, but it won't. I mean, they won last year without Gordon, so they definitely can win without the best receiving core. I mean, last year their second wide receiver on the depth chart was Philip Dorsett, so, I mean, that's nothing too big. So, yeah, I mean, it's not like it would have just been – it just makes it a little easier on other teams, but still New England's not going anywhere yet.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I don't think anyone besides New England fans are upset to see Antonio Brown released all suddenly, by the way, because, I mean, if you listen to us if you listened to us a couple weeks ago, we were pretty mad. We were very mad because this was ridiculous, and I think that this just blows up right in the Patriots' face. It kind of makes them look silly in a sense for signing him because, I mean, why? They were rewarding just absolute immaturity on that Raiders team. And I think that's kind of what drove everyone nuts because, like, in the modern sports world, you don't just get a free $15 million. Yeah, go ahead. We got a question?
No. Talking about Antonio Brown. His agent just came out and said he's already in communication with a few teams that are interested.
Saw that.
Who on earth
but
is
nobody,
interested in Antonio Brown?
But they want information about what's going to go on in this legal situation. So what I'm getting from this is don't expect Antonio Brown to be signed by a team until this case is done.
Yeah. Well, and it looks kind of weird. I think someone was saying it on ESPN that if they go right behind the NFL's back while they're still investigating this, it just doesn't put a good look on a team to sign a guy that is going through this like as we speak. Because the last issue wasn't exactly a legal one, but just more a mental one. So I think that's probably enough Antonio Brown. I mean, we could go all day, but in the end, he's not going to cause too much trouble. I think a lot of us were worried that he would be the piece to bury the Chiefs this year, but it looks like the Patriots will have to find that somewhere else. What direction do we want to go? Do we want to go college football?
Jalen
Ramsey? Oh, yeah, that is right. We'll go Jalen Ramsey. So what the report now from the front office source is that the first and the third round pick was never actually offered and that the asking price has gone up?
Yeah.
That is interesting. And I don't know who on earth made up fake sources because despite what a lot of you think, we don't do that, but interesting. What do you think, Jackson? Or Josh? Josh, you can go.
So, one, kind of going off the fake sources. We don't have fake sources. We wouldn't report something unless we know it's true. And the person that's telling us this stuff, I would consider very trustworthy. But The fact that the Jags think Jalen Ramsey is worth more than a late first-round pick, as like the Chiefs would offer, and a third-round pick, that's disappointing. Like Jackson brought up on Wednesday, Khalil Mack got dealt for 2 first-round picks. That's what the Chiefs would pretty much be given with a second round and a first-round pick. Because don't they have the second-round pick, another team second-round pick this year?
I don't think so. At least
Oh,
I don't. I don't know, but
anyway.
No, I mean, here's the thing: the price, what they're asking for Jalen Ramsey isn't really. I don't have an issue with because, when you have a player that talented and that great, you want to get a lot in return. But the problem is that they aren't in the position to really make teams give everything up because other teams are just like, listen, if you don't deal him, it's your own problem. If this guy's on your roster past week 6, I think that's the trading deadline. If he's your roster past this date, you're screwed. He doesn't want to play there, and he'll probably just cause more problems with the
Jaguars
team.
are trying to keep him now.
Yeah, I mean, of course they're going to try to, and because I thought it was alarming that they played him on Thursday, and I thought maybe they would keep him because of that. But
after you're done with this, Cameron Gardner wants to talk about what the Ravens offered.
All right, so right before this, and I can just comment on that. I saw what they offered, I think. But yeah, basically, I don't mind them asking. Like, if just for the player, Jalen Ramsey, he is definitely worth a lot. He definitely has a lot of. He's young. He's probably the first or second best corner in football. He's definitely worth a lot to a lot of teams. But in the situation Jacksonville's in, they're not in the position to really try and bribe. Beggars can't be choosers at this point. They kind of just have to take the best deal that they can get for themselves, or if they can, fix things internally with Jalen Ramsey.
Well, the interesting thing with that I will say is that, I mean, obviously they are kind of stuck with him at the moment, and if they get past that week 6 deadline and he isn't shipped out, they're going to have a whole different slate of problems. But, I mean, the offers seem high from a lot of teams right now, and they're probably only going to go up if they have multiple teams interested in his services. So they're probably not out of line in their asking price. I mean, they know what he's worth, and the player himself is worth a lot, and if teams are willing to pay near that, then there's really no issue with them holding out for what they think they can get. But the weird thing about this to me is that I don't get how one Thursday night win over the Titans seems like enough to completely repair that bond. Like that's relatively underwhelming to me, and it's not like they blew them out or anything.
And this
it's odd to me.
They declined a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and tight end Hayden Hurst.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Thank the Lord they declined it.
That, for me, to be honest, there's not a lot of players I wouldn't deal for a first, a second, and Hayden Hurst. That is a really enticing deal. Hayden Hurst isn't really that great, but the first and the second, my God.
And then a player,
a player that was a first-round pick not too long ago. So wow, I mean, that's crazy of them to decline that offer, but they must really think that they can internally fix this, because they wouldn't have said no to that, in my opinion, if they had any doubts that they could, or if they had any, if they thought there was no chance to keep Jalen on the team.
Yeah, but you still have to think they have interest from both leagues and a lot of teams in both leagues. I mean,
I've seen something saying they want to deal him to the NFC. They don't want to deal him inside the conference.
And they're saying it's the Eagles or Lions, maybe.
If I'm Philly, to be honest with you, I would offer a lot. I mean, it's a great. I don't know if it's great, but it's a really good team in Philadelphia, and they ought to cash in now while they're young and they have guys under contract, because their secondary is their biggest problem out there in Philly.
Yeah, so probably have him covered. Do we want to move to college football or maybe college basketball?
Before we move on, Cameron Gardner said,
"Oh, that's right. We got questions."
Or they can, or they think they can get 2 firsts from the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, they might believe that, but I don't think Kansas City, especially with Antonio Brown getting cut, is willing to give that anymore. I think Brown getting cut doesn't severely change the interest in Jalen Ramsey, but I think to an extent it did with Kansas City.
Well, the other interesting thing with this to me is that if we are truly going to be willing to offer that much, I would have rather just gone after Minka Fitzgerald. I mean, he's not quite as good a player, but the asking price was so much lower.
And he's younger.
Yeah, and they were willing to deal him quickly. Like, I don't know. It just seems odd to me. I feel like that was a completely reasonable option if we just looked right over that. That seems like a fail to me.
Much more versatile, too.
Yeah. But
Jalen's
Ramsey
great.
probably, yeah.
Jalen's great at corner, but the thing about Minka that was awesome was he could play safety also and corner. Wasn't as good as Jalen at corner, but he could play both, which would have been really helpful in our secondary. And also, he's only on the second year of his rookie deal, and Jalen's towards the end of his, I believe. So you would have had Fitzpatrick for longer if you were to go acquire him.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, far cheaper than Jalen Ramsey, especially with what the baseline declined offers have been. The only direction for him is up. So interesting to look out for going forward. So I ask again, do we want to go football? Do we want to go basketball? College? Where are we going?
You choose, John.
Well, I personally want to do basketball because this topic makes me happy. So strap in, KU fans, because it looks like it's going to be a long segment for you guys.
Segment.
We yesterday get the word that KU will probably be receiving a notice of potential level 1, whatever they're called, I guess, allegations against them for having coaches consulting with this whole Adidas probe. I believe that the new evidence contains text messages between coaches and Adidas executives, basically telling them to offer, unauthorized incentives to recruits. So that'll be interesting going forward. Also, 6 teams involved. Jackson, what do you think about this whole situation?
I think there's been a lot of cheating in college basketball and college sports for a long time. I think you for sure have seen it with KU. North Carolina is one that I don't know why they haven't gotten a punishment yet. It's pretty much out there that they made up fake classes for basketball players. I'm sure Duke's doing something. I would bet Kentucky's doing something. Let's be real. Most blue bloods probably have something shady going on behind the back. That's kind of why they are the way they are. And you look at it geographically, like, who the hell wants to go play in Lawrence, Kansas?
To add to that, the African players that want to go to Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah.
Why would you come over from Africa to see Lawrence and say, I want to play there?
That makes no sense. Like, if you want to go somewhere, like, I could see you wanting to go to Arizona. It's nice, warm. UCLA, California, Florida. It's nice. Cool places like New York, maybe Syracuse and New York. You might want to go up there. But to go to Lawrence, Kansas or Kentucky, like that, North Carolina, like, I know now that they have rich histories, you're more inclined to go there. But, like, man, there's been some shady stuff going on, because if you told me, if I was a 5-star recruit, you told me I could pick a place to play, Lawrence, Kansas, even though this is incredibly biased because I hate KU, Lawrence, Kansas would not even cross my mind.
Absolutely. Bottom of the list. Josh, what do you have?
Oh my god. Pretty much the same thing. It's I just hope KU eventually, like, I hope they get caught for this one and just doesn't go like whatchamacallit, it just goes like under the radar. I know it's like on the radar, but like they don't get like, okay, sorry. I hope they don't get a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting it, because I think that's kind of what's been happening
here. I want to see one scholarship reduction. I want to see ineligible in the NCAA tournament for 1 year.
And I'd love to see some scholarship reductions on top of that as well, because I think that that's more than fair, given the overall benefits that they receive from this.
The thing is, if they were paying that, and I'm blanking his last name, he played for the Lakers for half this last year and got traded. Went to KU. Yeah. Whatever his last name is, the white dude. If they're gonna pay him, I'm pretty sure that came out right. Am I right on that?
Mekhi Luke. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So he was getting paid. If they're gonna do that for him, what do you think they're gonna do for the really good players? I mean, that guy was just good. He wasn't elite or anything. I mean, that guy wasn't even that pivotal in their team. You look at guys like Joel Embiid, Andrew Wiggins over the years. What do you think they've been making? My God.
Yeah, and we see it at every level too, because you see Well, the most recent one that they actually were punished for, well, at least the player was punished for, was Silvio D'Souza, who
That might have been
was a
who I was thinking
4-star
of.
recruit. Yeah, I think Luke hasn't had any payment evidence come out, but Silvio D'Souza, he's a 4-star recruit. He was ranked 30th, somewhere around that, coming out of high school, so not exactly a blue chip. And we see them paying him, offering, I think it was like $90,000, somewhere in that figure, to his parents. And it's like, if they're paying him, you have to know they're paying people above, because they also have evidence against Josh Jackson, who he was a big blue blood recruit. I mean, we saw him, I think he was like number 3 of his class. So it's at all levels, Kansas is getting caught red-handed with these violations. And now that there is evidence, well, at least alleged evidence, linking it back to the coaches coordinating these types of things, I'm going to be very upset if one way or another KU squeaks out of this, because it looks like they have them pinned at this point. And, I mean, a slap on the wrist would just be so disappointing for the entire NCAA, especially for us. I mean, we're fans of Mizzou. I cheer for K-State as well. How are we supposed to compete with that? That's just an unfair incentive that, if they're really going to say, well, we need the money from these teams playing, so we're going to put it under the rug like we did with UNC earlier with that whole class scandal that was nothing. Well, that made Mizzou scandal look like nothing. It worries me that one way or another, something ridiculous like that is going to come out of this.
Yeah, and I mean, the NCAA has to look at it and realize that if they don't do anything, it's just encouraging other schools to do it as well. And that, you know what, if Kansas is going to start paying players, if all these blue bloods are going to find ways to cheat, then, I mean, why not let the other schools cheat? I mean, the other schools can just do it too then. I mean, if you don't set a precedent that you're not tolerating it, then everybody is going to feel like, all right, we have to do this to compete. And it's just not the way it should be.
Oh my God, imagine a blue blood free March Madness. That would be, I mean, here's the thing. All of these teams get tournament bans, that could be very possible for this season.
That would be awesome. But, even at this point, even if these bans happen, eventually when they're lifted and stuff, these teams will probably still be good because of the tradition that they have. Someone gets an offer from Duke, even if they get suspended from the tournament, which would never happen. The NCAA would never do that. But if they were to, they would you'd still go to Duke or North Carolina or Kentucky or, all those great schools. But it would open the door for non-blue bloods that are just solid teams overall. It'd be a really fun tournament. I mean, the 1 seeds would not be dominant.
No, it would definitely level things out.
That'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. I would be very intrigued. Not that I don't like seeing big players in that tournament, but it would just make the parity completely tumble down.
I mean, if those teams get bans, you can see those big players going to other schools, and that would kind of help.
Do you think that's what would take it?
I mean, if you got suspended, if you're going to college for basketball and that school is suspended from postseason play, that could factor in if you want to transfer or not. Josh, you know damn well it is way harder to get in the college football playoffs than the March Madness. And that
playoffs I would consider just a bowl game.
Okay,
yeah, but they're different. There's a whole different connotation that comes from.
I get what you're saying. I know.
And here's the thing. I mean, Kelly Bryant, when he chose Mizzou, knew there was no way in hell they were going to the college football playoffs. So that's a completely different thing. If you're going to Duke, you expect to be a 1 or 2 seed, and if the ban were to happen, you would probably. I mean, if you're going straight to the NBA, you wouldn't really mind. But if you were one of those players that wanted to play in college, you'd probably consider going somewhere else. So I think it could add for some great things. But then again, we're kidding ourselves even talking about this because the NCAA is never going to punish Duke or North Carolina because
or Kansas for that matter.
It just makes them too much money when they're doing well. But if they did,
Garner says the thing that's frustrating to me is that BYU lost 2 years of wins because of something stupid. But the big teams down lose anything.
Don't lose anything.
Don't lose anything. Come on, Josh.
It says down.
Josh, you can piece it together, okay?
But yeah, that is completely accurate, and I think that's what we're dealing with Mizzou football now as well.
And by the way, if that was Bama, this wouldn't even been brought up.
Yeah, no, BYU did not lose 2 years of wins. That's my thing. They can say that, but deep down, and everyone that saw it knows that they won those damn games.
Yeah, you can't take that off the board.
They can say, "Oh, that doesn't count." Bullshit. It counts. Okay, you're just trying to make up excuses now because you didn't catch it early enough, and now it's you on your ass. And I mean, that's what they did with was it Louisville or Michigan that won the title in basketball that they took away? I want to say Louisville. Yeah, you can't take a title away. Who won that year? Nobody. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, you can't just be like, well, Michigan wins by default. No, that's not how it works. Like, that team won. Louisville won that shit fair and square. No doubt. I mean, one of their players literally broke their leg and had a bone sticking out on the court. They overcame that.
God.
And then the NCAA is like, oh, sorry, it doesn't count. You know, it makes us look bad now, so we're going to take it away. But if it was Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, or Kansas, they would have been like, oh, you know, we'll look into it. And then they wouldn't do shit. And that's just what sucks, is that if you have this big school reputation and you're bringing in all this money for the NCAA, they're never going to punish you that hard unless you're doing something like Jerry Sandusky.
Oh, God. Ew. But I think voiding wins is definitely kind of a lost cause. And the real way to punish teams is to say, all right, like, there you go. We're going to give you a punishment now because that's the precedent that you set. I don't think Rick Pitino gives a single dang that title was taken away. He's still sitting at home with a ring, and he has that experience. And it's like, it just seems dumb. And I mean, it does suck for the coaches that end up taking over for him that have to deal with just a swamp program due to someone else's mistakes. But that overall is just the whole issue with this process because we see the wrong people being punished all the time. And it's a really tough thing that you have to deal with. But I know one way to solve the problem. Start paying the players.
We're not getting back into that.
We move into college football. I guess we'll just stick with the locals here. So Mizzou, South Carolina today. Rough offensive first half for Mizzou, I would say. They did end up with 17, which I guess was half of their scoring output, but ended up putting South Carolina away pretty handily. I want to say 34-14.
Yeah.
Am I right there?
Yes.
So what were your thoughts on the game?
Well, I thought Kelly Bryant looked like dog shit in the first half for the most part. That interception on a screen was inexcusable for a quarterback that's been playing college football as long as he has. With that being said, the defense has been much improved, even though South Carolina's quarterback situation is just atrocious. But, I was overall impressed with the defensive effort. I think the offense finally got something going once they started running the ball more in the second half. Kelly Bryant has to run. That's what makes him so good is when he runs. And so, overall, I thought it was pretty good effort, good way to start the SEC schedule. But then again, none of this fucking matters because they lost to Wyoming. So,
yeah, that is the sad reality of it. Josh, what you got?
All I know is if Mizzou didn't lose to Wyoming, they're in the top 20 right now.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want? I mean, that still doesn't overshadow the fact that they lost to Wyoming.
They did lose to Wyoming, yeah.
Who today lost to, North Texas or some shit. Or Tulsa. They lost to Tulsa.
Oh, my God, I hate Tulsa.
So, that was... Oh, that gets under my skin because no matter what we do from here on out, and we're not going to be able to beat everyone else on our schedule, but theoretically, if we did, we're always going to have to look back that we lost to Wyoming. Like, what the fuck were we doing? How do you go out there and beat South Carolina by 20 and then lose? Like, it blows my mind. It blows my mind how they could be so ill-prepared for week one. That should be your most prepared. You've had all off season.
Yeah, especially with West Virginia the week after, who maybe we didn't know at the time, but they're awful.
Yeah, West Virginia barely beat KU. So, this is God. I don't even want to talk about Missouri anymore. I hate this. They get Kelly Bryant.
They're gonna go 11-1. Watch this.
If they go 11-1, then I would be so pissed off at Wyoming. Oh.
We're going to get donked by Georgia.
Yeah,
no
Georgia's going to stick it in our ass pretty hard.
I don't know why everyone thinks we're going to lose dramatically.
Because dramatically?
Dramatically? That's not even a word.
It is now.
If we can't beat Wyoming, how the hell are we going to go into Georgia and win? You just have to add that up. I don't even know at this point if we're going to beat Florida. It's going to be probably a good game. Even if they don't have Felipe Franks.
Florida's awful.
I mean, you say that, but they're top 10 in the country.
They
And by
still
the
won't
way,
be. They won't be when we play them.
the both of you said, or I don't know if both of you, but I know Josh was raving about how pissed he was that Auburn was in the top 25, but I don't know how you could be pissed anymore after what they've done so far.
I didn't say that.
Josh was like, whenever I read it off before the season, like Sports Illustrated top 25, like, how the hell is Auburn in the top 25? They're so overrated. And then they literally beat Oregon and Texas A&M.
They are.
I mean, they're 4-0. They've beat 2 top 25 teams in the first 4 weeks.
Oregon and Texas A&M.
Who Texas A&M was a team that a lot of us thought would be better than Auburn. And Oregon was the team that we thought would beat Auburn as well.
I'm just shocked that Bo Nix is this good of a quarterback.
He's better than Kelly Bryant.
Easily. Kelly Bryant's not that good. I'm not even going to lie.
He's really not.
The man cannot
it's no
throw the
surprise
ball.
that he got beat out. I mean, he's definitely not terrible, but he definitely cannot throw the ball as well as Drew Lock could, and he definitely does not have the presence that Drew Lock did in the pocket.
If we had Drew Lock against Wyoming, we win.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
Kelly Bryant's arm strength makes it look like Alex Smith had an absolute cannon. Because this man has no accuracy down the field whatsoever. It's like watching me throw it. It's just not good. He needs to be running more. And I get he came to Mizzou to become an NFL quarterback, so he has to learn how to pass out of the pocket. He can't do it. He's not good. He just can't. He's not Deshaun Watson. He's not Lamar Jackson. That's the bottom line. And I know it hurts to say it, but he just doesn't have that NFL throwing potential. I mean, maybe he could find a job as a backup, but to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, I just don't see it.
All right.
So, anything else on that, or should we go to the Chiefs preview?
Let's just go to the NFL before we even go to the Chiefs.
Or we can go to the NFL. I mean, we did do picks, but if there's anything else we want to talk about.
We did do picks, but I was going to talk about a couple of things. First of all, Josh Rosen gets a chance to start this week for the Dolphins. Do you guys think anything positive will come out of this start for Josh Rosen?
No, they're playing the Cowboys. I feel bad for him.
I feel bad for Josh Rosen in general. This dude's been thrown into the 2 worst quarterbacking situations in the entire NFL for the past 2 years. The Cardinals was the worst one last year, and the Dolphins is the worst one this year. This guy needs to find his way onto a team that, can actually support him, because I'm worried that we're never going to actually get to see the true side of Josh Rosen, because a lot of people think that he has what it takes to be an elite NFL quarterback, and that whole quarterback class was an absolute mess. So no one really knows what they're going to see out of him, but it might just permanently be tarnished by the fact that he's been forced to suffer in Miami and Arizona. So I feel bad for him. It honestly makes me frustrated because I can't imagine, working for a career like that and then having to deal with this.
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
Yeah,
I
feel terrible for him. It's a terrible situation.
It truly is.
It's just not fair to a quarterback. But then again, I mean, you see quarterbacks thrown in this type of stuff all the time. Look at Blaine Gabbert. I mean, I don't know if he would have ever been good, but
Gardner Minshew.
But Blaine Gabbert was never given the chance. I mean, he got thrown into a terrible Jacksonville organization, and then after 1 year, they're like, well, we're giving up on Blaine Gabbert. It's like, this kid's 21 years old. Give him some time. God. I hate the narrative, and it's become even worse with social media that if a rookie quarterback isn't good, through 3 weeks, it's like, oh my God, he's a fucking bust. We got to get rid of him. He's terrible. It's like, chill.
The only interesting thing with that, the only way to combat that is that Blaine Gabbert, I think a lot of people that watched him at Mizzou, he does not look like the type of player that could have been an elite NFL quarterback. The man was not even elite in college.
Here's an example. I'm not saying he would have been elite, but the thing is, a lot of the times people are just like I've already seen it with Darnold. They're like, Darnold sucks dick, bro. And I'm like, Darnold has played 1 season in the NFL. You do realize it takes a little longer for most quarterbacks than 1 year to get really good at football. It is not not everyone's Patrick Mahomes and just comes in and lights shit up. That's not how it works.
No, it is not.
People are like, you can put up a good season too. You can put up 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But if your team goes 8-8, they'll be like, dude, we got to take a quarterback in this draft. This dude's just not getting it done. And it's just the impatience with NFL fans and NFL fan bases in general is just ridiculous. It's a kind of a side rant, but it's just kind of annoying.
No, and I think a lot of it too goes into just like the overall character and marketability of a player. Because Baker Mayfield had that exact type of season you just described, and it wasn't even like he was great last year. I mean, he had
No.
some flashes of being like a really good quarterback, but he was just an above average rookie. And everyone acts like he was a top 5 quarterback now. And now he has
Exactly.
all these marketing deals and this and that. And guess what? The Browns lost to the Titans.
That's
So,
true.
that's one thing you have to look at.
And they didn't
Or-
even look good versus the Jets.
No,
And
they
that-
did not.
And that's a horrible Jets team.
Yeah, and just look at Gardner Minshew. Okay, Gardner Minshew's been all right. He hasn't done much, but the fact that this guy does armband curls naked in the locker room and says he smacked himself in the hand with a hammer to try and get a medical red shirt. This guy's all of a sudden everyone thinks he's really good. It's like he scored like 14 points at Houston, right?
Yeah. 12.
I mean, it's just kind of low. That's not great, and I'm not saying he can't be good.
Yeah.
But there are better opportunities being given to quarterbacks completely based on the character.
Because that's what happens. It's like quarterbacks with the big egos or players with the big egos and big marketable, like, they're big market players. Yeah. Those players, I mean, those are the ones that fans fall in love with, like Cam Newton and Russell Westbrook. Guys like, they're just like, oh my God, he's so flashy. He's so great. But nobody even cares about what Dak Prescott's doing over there, even though he's better, better than
most of the quarterbacks, yeah.
Yeah, he's better than most of the quarterbacks, and he's doing things at a more efficient level. I mean, nobody really cares about what Jared Goff does, even though he puts up decent numbers. Nobody, and that's the thing. Like, quarterbacks that are boring are the ones that typically win the most games, hence Tom Brady, who wins basically every single game he plays.
Patrick Mahomes is the anomaly.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is an exception to that, but, like, you look at some of the best quarterbacks in the league, sometimes they're just damn boring to watch, but they're so methodical and they're so good at what they do. I mean, they don't have to be flashy. They don't have to make statements. The loudest one in the room is typically not the best one, and that's proven in sports as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on, do you have another NFL topic you want to bring up, or should we go to the
Gardner
Chiefs?
Minshew.
We can talk about him.
Sure.
It's definitely an overhype because of the mustache and people want to root for a guy, which I get it. He's
and the naked thing. That's the main thing. I feel like.
I get people
and the name.
I get people like it, and it's a fun story. But, like, if we're being completely honest, Gardner Minshew is just averages right now, and we'll see what he can do. But he's not that good.
I mean, I think he has flashes of being able to win games, but as of right now, I mean, I don't think he's elite. But I feel like he deserves a chance. If you come out and win games like this early. Mm-hmm. Which he did on Thursday night. Not games like this, but, I mean, he put up a really good fight against the Texans, and Fournette was about half a yard away from getting him that win.
Correct.
It's something important to look at, because also Jacksonville has an elite defense. Mm-hmm. They hang on to Jalen Ramsey, and, I mean, you could be thinking they could win 10 games.
Yeah, they could.
And you could see this team as one of those that just got really hot before the playoffs, and the record doesn't exactly reflect their abilities. So I think it's an important thing to watch, because Jacksonville is very good on the defensive side of things. And if Gardner Minshew can just be better than, Blake Bortles, good God, he was awful. I think he's better than him for sure. Then Jaguars fans have a reason to be excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just let them get their hopes up.
You got anything on that, Josh?
I don't think he's the greatest quarterback ever. People are bringing up weird stats to say, "Oh, he's a first quarterback to do this, this, and this."
I mean, they do that with everyone.
Yeah, it's a weird stat though. So I'm like,
yeah, I mean, that's what they do though. They'll do that in baseball too. They'll be like, this is the first player in Royals history to hit 2 triples when it was sunny outside on May 3rd.
And they were wearing powder jerseys.
Yeah, it's so stupid. They'll always find ways to make players.
Or they
look
found a
like
stat
great.
about K-State where they're like, this is the first weekend since 2007 that both Kansas teams beat a Power 5 team on the road. And I'm like, Kansas State has beat a bunch of Power 5 teams on the road.
Yeah.
We have the Jayhawks over here that have lost for 12 freaking years straight. We're getting dragged into this stat. That made me really mad.
Yeah,
I
totally.
could tell.
I think here's the thing. I thought this was interesting. I saw this. Would you rather have right now moving forward Gardner Minshew or Mitchell Trubisky?
Gardner Minshew.
Ooh, I don't know.
Both have elite defenses, but both are little.
I'll say Trubisky. He won like 12 games last year, right?
But was it
10.
him that won those? They won 12 last year.
They won 12?
They went 12-4 last year, but he didn't win 12. He won 11.
Yeah, it wasn't
Chase
him.
Daniels.
Chase Daniels won on Thanksgiving.
I swear to God, if you call him Chase Daniels one more time, I'm going to punch both of you in the face. Chase
Okay.
Daniel.
Chill
Come
out.
on. You guys are Mizzou fans. You got to do better.
Okay, chill
Says a
out.
K-State fan.
But,
It's just
okay.
Chase Daniel. I don't
But
know, when
I'll
you're
say
talking-
Trubisky. I'll say Trubisky.
I just don't know, man. Trubisky is like so bad. It's just like unbelievable how terrible he can be. Like last year, I thought coming into this year he would make some strides, but through 2 games, he has looked. I don't even know how to describe it. His accuracy.
He's looked
horrible.
bad.
He can't even read a defense.
He looks like a
Like,
backup
it's-
quarterback. How about that?
Yeah, like I think honestly, I don't know if you guys remember Mike Glennon, but I think he's
Yes.
about the same as that. I think
Dear
that's what
God.
I'm not even telling a
No,
lie.
I
like,
know. It just I feel bad that Mitchell Trubisky is descended to that Matt Glenn.
Like he's
kinda
even,
funny.
Like
He
he's
took-
ever
he
gonna hear this.
Yeah, but Matt Glennon was the one who was starting for the Bears before Trubisky started, so that's kind of what popped in my mind. But you listened to the stat line last week: 16 of 27, 120 yards. What in the piss is that? The fact that you can win a game throwing 120 yards is a testament to how good your defense is. And then in week 1, I mean, Green Bay is a decent defense this year, but my God, 26 of 45, 228 yards and a pick. I mean, this guy's gone 2 games without a touchdown and he's thrown a pick. He's horrid. It's terrible. The Bears can never win anything with him, and I think Gardner Minshew has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, probably. But
At least
That's all
I
we got
to
from that. Yeah, probably.
At least I got to see Gardner Minshew push the ball down the field, something that I have not seen Mitchell Trubisky do at a consistent level ever. But draft analysts, draft experts said he was the best quarterback in the class, and that it was right to take him above anyone.
and thank God they did.
I go
because-
into that draft, and I'm like, when they traded up to take Trubisky, I just started laughing. I was like, what the hell are they doing? Like, I thought for sure they were going to take Watson there, And I was like, wow, they took Trubisky. And then when the Chiefs traded up, I was like, oh, we're going to take Watson, it looks like. And we took Mahomes, and I was like, oh, shit, this is going to
Yeah, I
be
mean,
Here we
at
go
the time,
again.
I was like, Watson. I think every
Yeah.
Chiefs fan was like, we can get Deshaun, Heisman
Yeah.
winner. But
Yeah.
no, thank God.
Yeah,
Because
and I mean Deshaun was definitely a better option than Mitchell Trubisky, but both Houston and Chicago have to feel like they struck out.
well,
Okay.
Houston didn't really strike out because they picked Watson after Mahomes. So
It's true.
that's
I mean,
and Watson's still a really good quarterback.
Yeah,
I know
there's
that.
no doubt.
Yeah,
But I mean, to a degree, also, Mahomes never becomes Mahomes in Chicago. I mean,
no.
he has no chance of that because the weapons around him were terrible, and the coaching staff. He would have played for John Fox. Think about that. He was so fortunate that he got to play for Andy Reid.
Upset of the week, whoever the Lions are playing.
The Eagles.
Yep.
God, no.
Why did you just say that out of nowhere?
Lions aren't
Cameron
gonna
Gardner asked upset of the week.
Oh,
upset of the week. Let me get Jets.
upset
Over
of the
the
week.
Patriots?
Yeah, give it to
With
me,
their third
Le'Veon
string
Bell.
quarterback.
Luke Falk.
Hello?
Le'Veon Bell.
Upset of the
Luke
week.
Hello?
Josh taking a call mid podcast.
My upset of the week. Steelers over 49ers. I think they're just desperate,
What?
and desperate teams play with a different edge.
Maybe, and
I like Mason Rudolph. I actually do like the guy.
They've talked up
believe
Mason
that.
Rudolph a little bit too much, though,
I
because
like-
the Steelers are acting like they just pulled franchise quarterback out of their butts. When
Well, I mean,
they had no
he was a
intention of
third round
bringing-
pick. It wasn't like he was just some desperation guy. They did use a decently high selection on him.
Okay.
I mean, they're spinning him as someone that's going to be just ridiculous good, but I
I mean, we don't
really
know.
don't
Kansas
see it.
City?
Prescott
It'll
was
be-
a fourth round pick. I mean, you just don't know.
Two. Okay.
Who is
You gotta-
call-
Yeah, Josh, is it really necessary to call your mom during the
Yeah,
podcast?
get off the mic.
We're just roasting Josh at this point.
But
Upset alert in college right now. Old Dominion is only down 4 to number 21 Virginia.
No.
Virgin, yeah.
Interesting game.
No.
Stop saying no,
That's
Josh.
stupid.
What's stupid?
Get off the mic.
No, you're joking with me.
Okay, Josh.
Okay, Josh
Wait,
is
no.
officially.
Everyone
kissing-
ignore Josh.
Everyone
Josh
ignores
is-
Josh's bitch ass right now because he is just trying to make
Nice.
us
Probably
upset.
has this muted as well. So
Notre Dame is up 3 on Georgia. Texas is up 1 on Oklahoma State. If you're interested in college
only
football,
one
at all.
on Oklahoma State. Crap. K-State might get donked.
Yeah.
Ew.
Okay.
Makes me
Well,
scared.
Josh,
Five.
I guess Josh may be joining us back
Guys?
sometime. There he is.
I just got off the phone with. This is a long shot.
Okay.
My friend's boss's son
Dear God.
was on a flight from Jacksonville, and Jalen Ramsey was on the plane to Kansas City.
No way.
Is that true?
And he said the deal was Jones and picks.
Jones.
No.
Oh my God.
Chris Jones?
And
That's
the deal will be made on Monday.
No.
what? Well, I mean, okay, we're not going to report this.
No,
because
that
it's
is
an
not
absolute
true. There's no way.
ridiculous.
He never.
We're
he
getting pranked.
not even like saying reporting it. Just say rumor. You could say rumor.
Okay. But
No, I'm not even going to put that out there. There's no way. You're getting hoodwinked.
yeah.
Your friend was like,
you're getting absolutely played.
your friend's a
I
little
don't-
bit racist and saw a muscular black dude playing and was like, "Are you Jalen
It's
Ramsey?"
the person that
And-
said that was. It was the dude that told me about Landry.
Oh, well,
Landry.
Matt.
Well, that guy had no substance either. So we.
yeah, and let's not forget the fact that I freaked out a bunch of Clippers fans on the Reddit thinking that we traded Landry
Yeah.
Shamet for Andre Iguodala. They went berserk, man. They were scared. But then I deleted it because I was worried he was having personal issues. So
Wait, how would he even have service on the plane to call you? Like that?
No.
That doesn't even-
My friend,
Yes.
his friend's boss,
Yeah.
boss's son, when he got off the plane, told everyone.
Jones and picks. Wow. That's interesting. If
That is
true.
terrible.
That's true. That's-
If that
Is
true,
it
that
terrible?
Yes.
Chris Jones is our best defensive player.
I mean, he is, but then Jalen Ramsey would be our best defensive
You
player.
get rid of Chris Jones, you have nobody that's going to get after the quarterback.
You have Frank
That's-
Clark.
Frank Clark hasn't done shit.
Frank Clark
Frank
got a
Clark-
sack last weekend.
Did he? I didn't even see
Yeah.
it. I saw Chris Jones. You know, I don't know how much you read into Pro Football Focus's grades per week, but I think they're kind of interesting. Like, you get graded on shit. And Chris Jones is the fourth highest rated player in the entire NFL last week. And that
Okay.
kid is a special talent at defensive tackle.
Let's
And
not
you-
get our panties in a knot. This is not even close to confirmed. Also, no.
It's not,
There's no
but if
way.
it-
What kind of player gets on the plane and they're like, "Hey, you get traded," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know all the players in the deal." Did he take a picture of him?
Jalen wouldn't even know.
Did he take a picture of him? Because why wouldn't you take a picture of him? Also, why is he taking a commercial flight?
Here's the other
This
thing.
doesn't add up.
He would have taken a private jet. And then the other thing is that he would have, if Chris Jones was really in the deal, there's no way he would play tomorrow. So,
Well, I mean, we don't know if he's going to play tomorrow or if he's not.
they would probably say something. If they had the deal in place right now, they would probably, you're not going to risk that because if you play let's say this deal is real, which is not likely, but let's say it is real. Chris Jones plays tomorrow and gets hurt, deal's off. That you wouldn't risk that. If you truly wanted to make the deal, you wouldn't risk that. And so, this sounds like a bunch of horse crap, but
He said,
you know,
just saying, I'm not lying about this, so take this as you will.
No, there's no way. because-
why would Jalen Ramsey be on a?
Why would he tell him when he got
Ezekiel
traded?
Elliott took a public plane to get back to Dallas.
Okay,
Yeah, but they weren't going to charter a flight to Cabo. Come on.
Do you think that Jalen Ramsey would tell a random stranger on a plane he's getting traded to Kansas City for Chris Jones and picks?
Okay, well, it's kind of
Like-
obvious when he's flying to Kansas City. Hey,
But
Jay,
how would Jalen Ramsey even know that? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, it's not like they're gonna tell Jalen Ramsey that automatically. They're just like,
They're
oh,
like, yeah, you got traded for Chris Jones and picks.
yeah, like, they're not gonna just straight up say
he
that.
said, okay, well, when it happens, you're going to be pissed. He said, then it sucks.
Here's the thing: if it happens,
It
then
happens.
if it happens, then it happens.
I'm going to put
We-
this clip that I'm not recording.
And we have. We're not believing in the report all, but we do have this. But, like, I don't know. I'm not willing to report something like that and then have it fall
No, because our
flat.
pinned tweet is our goal here is to deliver sports news that's 100% accurate.
Yeah. Well, then we need to consult somebody.
Yeah, I mean, we got Adam Schefter. Get it in here.
Yeah, Adam Schefter's been telling us.
Let me get Adam.
That's how we know everything.
Let me get Adam.
All right, Adam, get on the podcast.
Oh, God. Adam Schefter's so weird. That guy is just an odd human being.
She's got the life, bro. Him and Ian Rappaport, they get the best
All right,
inside
let's talk
stuff.
about tomorrow's game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's stop
get
talking
into
about this horse crap. So Chiefs Ravens, probably the game of the week for the NFL. It's a big one because Lamar
be a good
Jackson
game.
and Patrick Mahomes both have 7 touchdowns and no picks up to this point in the season. So they're both leading that charge at the quarterback position through 2 weeks. One thing to note, it is rainy. Well, is going to be rainy, at least for the first half is what it's looking like. How do you guys think that's going to affect the matchup just overall? What are you looking for?
It's going to affect the matchup huge. We have a pass game. Ravens have a run game.
Yeah, and what's easier to do in the rain, pass or run?
But
That
it's
is
also
true.
Patrick Mahomes.
Wow,
Listen,
you just sold my own point for me. Do I even have to talk?
Here's the thing. I get that, and I love Patrick Mahomes, but it's not all on Patrick Mahomes because these receivers have to create separation, which is harder to do in the rain. I mean, they'll slip, and there'll be some bad mistakes. But listen, I think at the end of the day, this game is going to come down to time of possession, and that's my ultimate key for tomorrow. Is that last year's game, Baltimore had the ball so damn long, and if you keep the ball out of Mahomes' hand, that's the way to beat the Chiefs. I mean, if you can just establish the run, force some clock out, that's how you beat the Chiefs. I remember last year in the third quarter, I think Baltimore had the ball for 13 of the 15 minutes. And I mean, that's if you want to beat the Chiefs, that's how you do it. You just don't let the offense see the ball and keep the defense out there. And because the less opportunity the Chiefs get offensively, that's a huge win for any defense. But this is a good defense at that. So, you know, it's possible they could get a couple stops. So I think definitely not letting them have long drives and making sure Mahomes gets opportunities is going to be the big key tomorrow.
All right.
I'm still just pondering trading Chris Jones, if that's a good plan or not.
Yeah, I mean, let's say theoretically.
Then that means we have confidence. If this is true, then it means we have confidence in Kalen Saunders. Because we must think that he's just absolutely cold or something.
Yeah, gosh, I mean, we have heard reports, and this was a report before the season had started, that as of right now, it was looking like at the end of the season they would tag and trade Chris Jones.
That's also true.
So,
yeah, but if we can get that out of the way now, and then we get the tag for someone else.
Yes, I mean,
and Jalen Ramsey.
God, that is just such an interesting thing. I mean, if they were to give up that capital, I would assume it'd be a first, a third, and Chris Jones. That would probably
if we were to give up
sense.
Jones, does that mean we're going to do something? We're going to actually sign Ramsey?
That's what I was about to ask. I mean, if you're willing to give up that capital, you'd have to be willing to give Jalen Ramsey a long-term deal.
God, and we talk about those salary.
We have Watkins for 2 more years.
Yeah, we don't need to tag Watkins. I don't think we really have after this year, really, that's that huge. It was going to be Chris Jones. It still could be, obviously. But
what's Tyron's contract? Is it 3 years?
Tyron, yeah, he's 3 years here, so he's locked in.
It's like, who's Tyron? Or Tyron?
Interesting.
Tyron Matthew, yeah. But, yeah, really other than that, like LaShawn McCoy, but I don't expect him to have a second season here. My concern tomorrow actually is Damian Williams is out. That's kind of concerning.
And LaShawn McCoy isn't 100%.
Yeah. You are limited at running back. And so
this is Thompson's game.
Thompson has to step up tomorrow. And behind him, I mean, you very well may see Darrell Williams getting some snaps tomorrow at running back because we are just so thin at it right now with the injuries to Williams and McCoy that we're going to need some guys to step up, and we're definitely going to be passing a lot tomorrow. Actually, out of any team in the NFL, which I don't have a problem with this, but out of every team in the NFL, we've passed more than anybody, percentage-wise.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's.
And, I mean, I don't disagree with it because we have the best quarterback in the NFL. But it is just something to note that, like, man, we are passing the ball a whole lot, which is risky because, you know, the more you pass, the more opportunities it is for Mahomes to get hit, which is concerning, especially without your starting left tackle. So that is definitely going to be something to look for tomorrow. And Baltimore's got a pretty good pass rush. Although I will say this. Baltimore's pass rush has definitely declined from a year ago. You think about it. They had Zadarius Smith, if you guys know who that is, who's pretty good defensive end. I mean, on that play that Mahomes flicked it across his body, that was the guy that chased him. Terrell Suggs, of course, is gone, which he was, no matter how old he's getting, he's still producing. So, I mean, it's definitely not the same defensive line, but still probably the best secondary in the NFL with Marlon Humphrey and Earl Thomas. I also think the tricky stuff tomorrow, like reverses and stuff, I think trick plays are going to be a lot harder because of a guy like Earl Thomas handling the middle of the field. He's not a fool like some of these other safeties are, so we're going to have to it's going to be tougher tomorrow. But yeah, I think.
Just trying to get some stuff right now.
I mean, oh god, this trade would be very interesting.
But now that I'm thinking about it, that's something that I could see.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If that's a trade, I like it. Because we
You didn't
already
tell me
knew.
what picks. You just said picks.
We already have our insider source telling us that Chris Jones is. Well, the plan as of now.
This is two different sources.
I know, but okay, the front office person that we tweet about, right, has told us that Chris Jones is going to be tagged and traded going into next season. If that's the case, why not cash in on him now?
For a player,
because I think that the secondary or the defense as a whole becomes better when you swap Jones for Ramsey, especially with an already second round pick, well, second or third, I can't remember, defensive tackle there to succeed him. And I feel like if we do that, then we're saying that we have confidence in this new guy to step in and bring pass rushing, opportunities because that's what we rely on the chance for.
Yeah, I mean, it still isn't the greatest secondary in the world, but I mean, at that point, it really makes up for a lot of the woes. I mean, you're talking about Fuller, Ramsey, Matthew, and Thornhill. I mean, not many balls are getting over the top on that defense. And then, I mean, Breeland's not bad. Bashad Breeland's been playing well, and Tre'Davious
he's
Ward.
Heading this way to Kansas City.
I think you did.
Well, he landed
in Kansas City.
That's what I thought. I'll ask.
Okay, well, none of this, if you're listening right now, audience, is confirmed. If you're just joining us,
God,
I need a rumor.
I need a plane tracker.
Ramsey has been dealt.
That's what I was looking. I was looking at there's like a plane tracking app.
Yeah, well, this is a completely unrelated story, but as you know, I follow soccer, and we're basically like waiting for this player to sign, and this guy on the Reddit was tracking every single plane out of this one city. And every time one came from like that city to the city where the team was, I was like freaking out. And then finally, like they actually got his plane. Chiefs need to do that. Every plane out of Jacksonville, we need to be tracking, seeing if Jalen Ramsey's on that plane. We need someone to take one for the team.
One person just keeps on going back and forth between Jacksonville and Kansas City.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. There's that
I'll take Tuesdays and Thursdays.
There's that new jet bus thing that scans everything you do on a plane. I don't know if you guys saw that.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's this new high-tech plane, and it does like follows everything you do, and it like takes your identity, and it figures out like the movies you watch, and the times you wear your seatbelt, the time you don't, where you poop, how much you poop. Not even kidding. Like literally how much you poop. I'm not even kidding. I know it's gross. But they're tracking all that because apparently it will make your flight experience better. So we don't always talk about sports on here.
Yeah.
All right, we will see you guys on Tuesday.
Whoa. Wrapping it up that fast.
We're done.
All right.
I just talked about poop on a plane.
Yeah, that's true. We're out of topics.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you on Tuesday.